Hello there, and welcome. Tonight we're not fighting anything. We're not going to battle with your mind. We're simply going to meet the inner enemies you carry and slowly turn them into something softer, teachers, signals, and eventually old habits that no longer rule you. You don't have to do anything perfectly. You don't even have to stay awake. Let these words be like someone sitting at the edge of your bed, speaking calmly while you drift off. If you miss parts of it, that's okay. This script is designed to be safe to fall asleep to. First, feel the support beneath your body. The mattress, the pillow, the blanket. Notice how you are already being held. You don't have to hold yourself up right now. You can rest your weight. You can rest your day. Let's begin. Inner enemy 1. The harsh inner critic. The first inner enemy many of us know is the harsh, relentless critic. It tells you, you didn't do enough today. You always mess things up. You're behind. You're not who you should be. It sounds like it's telling the truth, but really, it's just a scared voice that learned once upon a time that being harsh was the only way to feel safe or in control. You don't overcome this enemy by yelling back. You overcome it by refusing to believe it blindly. Tonight, when that voice shows up, you can quietly say, I hear you. You're trying to protect me, but I don't need you to talk to me like this anymore. You don't have to silence it instantly. Just lower its importance. Turn down its volume. Let it talk in the background while you rest in a deeper truth. You did enough for one day. Inner enemy 2. Fear of failure. Fear of failure whispers, don't try. It'll go wrong. If you fail, you'll prove you're not good enough. This enemy pretends to be wisdom, but it mainly wants to stop you from feeling vulnerable. To overcome it, you don't need to convince yourself that you'll never fail. You simply remember, failure is a moment, not a verdict. Tonight, as you lie here, you don't have to solve all your future failures. You don't have to plan every move. You can quietly say to yourself, I am allowed to try and not be perfect. I am allowed to learn in public. I am allowed to grow slowly. Fear will still exist, but it no longer gets to be the driver. It can sit in the back seat while you rest. Inner enemy 3. Endless worry. Worry tries to convince you that if you think long and hard enough, you can prevent all bad things. It replays conversations, rehearses disasters, writes worst-case scenarios over and over on the walls of your mind. In truth, worry rarely solves anything at night. To overcome this inner enemy, you don't have to banish it. You just stop feeding it. You can say, worry, I know you're trying to protect me, but you are not solving things now. You are just draining my strength. Imagine you have a shelf in your mind labeled tomorrow's problems. Visualize placing each worry on that shelf, one by one. You're not throwing them away. You're just not holding them in your hands while you're trying to sleep. Inner enemy 4. Shame. Shame sneaks deeper than guilt. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. It tells you that if people saw the real you, they would turn away. This enemy is heavy. It presses on the chest, ties knots in the stomach, makes you want to hide. You overcome shame, not by becoming flawless, but by realizing you are not the worst thing you've done, and you are not the worst story your mind tells about you. Tonight, you might place a hand on your chest, or imagine that you do, and whisper internally, yes, I made mistakes, but I am still worthy of rest. I am still allowed to be human. No one is listening to your thoughts right now. You are safe in this moment, to exist exactly as you are, without performing, without proving. Inner enemy 5. Comparison. Comparison constantly scans other lives, their success, their appearance, their timing, their relationships. It tells you, you're behind, you're smaller, you're late. But comparison never shows you the full picture. It shows the highlight reel of others and the behind the scenes of you. To overcome this enemy, you remember that your path is not theirs. Your timing is not theirs. Your inner struggles are invisible to most people, just like theirs are invisible to you. Tonight, you can gently say, "This is my life. This is my pace. I don't have to match anyone else's script." You're allowed to step out of the imaginary race and simply lie here, not behind, not ahead, just here. Inner enemy 6. The need for constant control. There is a part of you that believes everything depends on you. Every detail, every outcome, every emotion of every person around you. It's exhausting. To overcome this enemy, you gently, repeatedly, hand back what was never yours to carry. Other people's reactions, the entire future, random surprises. These don't live fully in your hands. Tonight, you might say to yourself, "I control my effort, not the outcome. I control my words, not their interpretation. I control my choices, not the entire universe." And with each admission, your grip can soften a little, like fingers slowly opening. After clutching something all day, inner enemy 7. Self-doubt. Self-doubt says, "Who do you think you are? Everyone else knows something you don't. You're faking it." It makes you question your abilities, even in areas where you've already proven yourself. You don't crush self-doubt by inflating your ego. You soften it by accepting this. It's okay not to feel 100% ready and still move forward. Being uncertain doesn't mean you are incapable. It means you are human. Tonight, you might remind yourself of times you felt doubt and acted anyway. Conversations you handled, decisions you made, obstacles you overcame, even though you weren't sure you could. Self-doubt shrinks when you stop treating it as a prophecy and start seeing it as background noise. Inner enemy 8. Overthinking. Overthinking stretches simple moments into long, tangled threads. One comment becomes a whole narrative. One choice becomes 1,000 branches of what if and what then. The mind spins and spins, but rarely lands anywhere peaceful. To overcome overthinking, you don't argue with every thought. You practice stepping out of your head and into your body. Feel the air entering your nose and leaving again. Notice the weight of the blanket, the rise and fall of your chest. Instead of asking, "What does it mean?" you ask, "What do I feel right now, physically?" Tonight, when the mind spins up a new scenario, you can say, "That's a story. Right now, my only task is to breathe." Each time you return to a simple sensation, the spell of overthinking weakens. Inner enemy 9. The voice that says you're too late. Another inner enemy whispers, "You missed your chance. You should have started years ago. Other people your age are already there." This enemy freezes you by telling you that movement now is pointless. But time will pass anyway, and you never know what door is still waiting to open for you. You overcome this enemy by refusing to let it define what's possible. Tonight, you don't have to plan a comeback. You don't have to design a perfect timeline. You can simply say, "If I wake up tomorrow, I am allowed to start from where I am, not from where I should have been." Life is not a train you permanently missed. It is more like a path that waits for you each morning, exactly where your feet are. Inner enemy 10. Inner numbness. Sometimes the enemy isn't loud or harsh. It's a kind of numbness. You don't feel excited. You don't feel hopeful. You just feel flat. This can make you think, something is wrong with me. I should be more driven, more alive. But numbness is often not laziness. It's a tired nervous system that has been on high alert for too long. To overcome this, you don't bully yourself into intensity. You approach yourself the way you would approach someone burned out, gently, slowly, respectfully. Tonight, if you feel numb, you can say, "It's okay that I don't feel much. This, too, is a state that will change. I don't have to force passion right now. I just have to rest." Rest itself is a form of healing that will, with time, create space for feeling again. Inner enemy 11. The story that you must earn rest. This enemy tells you, you can rest when you've done enough. You haven't struggled enough to deserve a break. You must fix everything before you relax. It turns rest into a reward you rarely feel worthy of. In reality, rest is not a trophy. It is maintenance, like charging a battery, like watering a plant. To overcome this enemy, you treat rest as something built into being human, not as something you only get when you are good enough. Tonight you can say, "I am resting, not because I am finished, but because I am human. My brain and body need this, not as luxury, but as basic care." You are allowed to sleep, even with unfinished tasks, unanswered messages, unresolved problems. That's not irresponsibility, that's reality. Inner enemy 12. Old stories about who you are. Inside, you live old sentences, spoken by parents, teachers, peers, or your own younger self. You're the lazy one. You're the difficult one. You're not smart enough. You're the one who messes things up. They linger like ghosts in your self-image, shaping what you think you're allowed to become. To overcome these inner enemies, you don't erase your past, but you refuse to let old voices have the final word. Tonight, you might pick one old label and whisper quietly inside, "Maybe that was how they saw me. Maybe that was true of me once. But I am allowed to grow beyond this." You're not frozen as your childhood role. You are a changing, learning person, even in your sleep. Inner enemy 13. The urge to be harsh, to stay strong. Some part of you may believe, if I go soft, I'll fall apart. If I stop being hard on myself, I'll become weak. This inner enemy confuses kindness with weakness and harshness with strength. But look at the people you admire most. Are they cruel to themselves? Or do they carry a quiet, grounded compassion inside, even while they push forward? To overcome this enemy, you experiment with a new idea. Maybe softness is not the opposite of strength. Maybe it is the soil strength grows in. Tonight, you can let your inner voice speak just a little softer. Not sugary, not fake, just less sharp. "I could have done better today" can quietly become, "I see where I can improve, and I still deserve rest." That shift, small as it is a crack in the armor where something healthier can grow. Inner enemy 14. Believing you are your thoughts. Your thoughts can say cruel things. They can show you scary images. They can predict awful futures. If you believe every thought is you, you will feel attacked. by your own mind. But thoughts are events, not identities. They appear, stay for a while, and then fade, like clouds drifting across a sky. You are not every cloud. You are more like the sky that sees them. To overcome this enemy, you practice a tiny bit of distance. Instead of, "I am a failure," you notice a thought is here that says, "I am a failure." You don't have to fight it. You just name it as a thought, not as truth. Tonight, when a painful thought appears, you can say, "Hello, thought. I see you. You can drift by while I rest." Inner Enemy 15. The fear that you will never change. A quiet but heavy inner enemy says, "This is just who you are. You'll always be like this. You've tried before and failed. Why bother?" It turns your past into a cage. But if you look closely, you'll notice you've already changed. In many ways, over many years. You don't think the same way you did at 10. You don't handle situations the way you did at 15. There are patterns you've already outgrown. You are changing right now. With every experience, every insight, every small act of courage, every moment of rest. To overcome this enemy, you don't have to announce a total transformation. You just remember, the version of me lying here now is not the final version of me. Tonight's sleep is part of that transformation, part of refilling your inner tank so that change remains possible. Closing. You don't have to win tonight. We've spoken about many inner enemies: the critic, worry, shame, comparison, overthinking, numbness, the need for control, and more. You don't have to conquer them all tonight. You don't have to wake up tomorrow as a completely different person. Overcoming inner enemies is less like a battle you win once, and more like a daily shift in how you relate to yourself. A little more kindness, a little more distance from harsh thoughts, a little more permission to rest. Right now, as you feel the bed supporting you, the air entering and leaving your lungs, you have already taken a step. You chose to listen to something gentle, instead of listening only to your inner enemies. That is not nothing. That is new inner behavior. Let your breath grow slower. Let your shoulders sink. Let your thoughts blur at the edges, like ink spreading in water. You don't have to fix your whole life before you're allowed to sleep. You are allowed to be a work in progress and still rest deeply. Your inner enemies may still whisper, but they don't control this moment. This moment belongs to your body, your breath, your need for peace. You have done enough for today. You are enough to rest. Good night.